How's it going, guys? Tom here again, and I'm back here for another video. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit off topic, just something a bit more random. So another question I get asked about a lot recently, and that's the major differences between, well, not major differences, but some differences between the UK and USA in regards to like certain general things that we use on a day-to-day basis. So I moved here a couple of years ago now. I've been here for about 3 years, and originally from England, the Midlands area. And my 3 years being here, I thought I'd touch on like the five major differences I've seen. Well, not five major ones, five ones that I would say they're quite big. You know, just ones major differences that I find interesting. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like I say, I moved here in 2021. I moved here originally just to be with my missus, so that's the reason why I'm here. And so far, I love it. I love it here. But yes, straight off the bat, the first difference is, and I'll add videos to this, is our plug sockets. And here is how they look. So as you can see, obviously the plug sockets are very different compared to the ones in the UK. Most things don't have an earth. Like all of our sockets in the UK have the earth. Here it's not really required. But yeah, so I have to obviously use an adapter like this, and they're the only ones that you use, you know. So it's just the 2 prongs, whereas obviously in the UK we have the 3 prong. So that's an adapter that I use. Yeah, so also on the topic, when it comes to lights, so it's very interesting. So obviously you've still got the switch for it, right? So you've got a switch for your lights, like that, but they're powered from one side of the socket. So if you look here, I have to put an adapter in and add your own lights, because most places do not have lights in their rooms, especially bedrooms and stuff over here. So there's no lights whatsoever in this room. We have to put our own ones in. So and they all run off one single socket, one side. So that socket is switched. It's so weird. It's off the same socket, same circuit as the sockets you see, which is very interesting because everything in the UK has its own supply, right? So the lights have its own supply. So yeah, just really interesting. Lights have their own supply, and the sockets have their own supply. So yeah. The next one we're going to look at now is the toilets here and the water level. So in England, the water level is considerably a lot lower compared to how it is here. The water level is quite high in the toilets for whatever reason. I'm not too sure why, but here's how they look. And in regards to toilets, obviously in the UK, you know, the water level is really low. Here in the US, the water level comes really high in the toilets. So one thing I really noticed, I was like, why though? Why is there so much water? Like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, ours only come to like this level, you know, in England, in the UK. So whereas here they come right up near the top. I've seen some that are like way up here, especially public toilets. So yeah, I don't really know why. So yeah, I'm not really too sure why that's a thing. But yeah, that's another difference between the two countries. Another interesting one that I thought that some people are really shocked about and kind of go, what? When I tell them back over in England is the petrol pumps at petrol stations, or should I say gas stations here. The colour is the opposite way around, which is really interesting. So most petrol stations here, if you want petrol, it's using the black pump. If you want diesel, most of them are green. Obviously, in England or in the UK, it's the opposite way around. Petrol's green and diesel's black, right? And a lot of people say, you know, have you mistaken to like miss fuel and stuff? And I'm like, well, no. Lucky enough here, most vehicles here are petrol, so the only stuff that are diesel here are like the big lorries or semis, as they call them here. And the green pumps are the nozzle's very bigger, so they don't fit in like they do in England, where you can easily miss fuel. As I've known a bunch of people who have accidentally misfueled diesel and petrol vehicles and vice versa and stuff too. And I'll show that video here so you can see. So you see how this is a black handle here. Like in the UK, petrol is green. But here in the US, they're black. It's Shell. And it's measured in gallons. And to finish up on some two last ones, one big one that's actually kind of like really different and kind of boggles me a little bit is when you go to stores, let's say like supermarkets and stuff here, like Walmart, there's Target and there's Jewel Osco and some other ones. The tax on stuff is added after. So, well, I say after like you go to pay basically. Whereas obviously in England it's all already added, or England or the UK, it's already added. So what you see is what you pay. Whereas here in the US, if you see a price, let's say it's like $10, let's say, and you've got $10 cash, you walk up, oh cool, $10. You pick it up, walk up, you'll find it'll be $10.30. So it's kind of like what? So yeah, taxes added differently. They just have different levels of tax of what they itemize stuff in. So stuff that's grouped together will be like your general groceries, or shopping, shall I say, or groceries if you're here. And some stuff is taxed differently to other things. So yeah, it's very interesting. So you go to pay for your stuff, and then it's like considerably a little bit more. So it's like, oh okay. But yeah, so that was always quite interesting when I first moved here. It was kind of like, I was like, why is it I don't have to? You kind of look at a price like, oh, that's this, and it's actually not when you go up. So you have to allow a little bit more when you're looking in supermarkets. And finally, number 5 is, this one's really interesting, you may find. So there is no generic MOT test here for your vehicles. So obviously, as you know, in the UK, we have to MOT your vehicle at least once a year, right? And then you can't. Without that, you can't get insurance, and you can't tax the vehicle, vice versa. Here, it's different. There's no MOT that's required, and it's funny when I explain people to here, they kind of think it's boggling. US citizens, they kind of think, well, you have to pay for all that. And I'm like, because I'm in Chicago, Illinois, so I don't know how it's in other states. I can only say what everything I've said in this video is only about this state I've seen, and so some of the others that I've seen are pretty much the same. Not too sure about the rest of it because there is like 50 states. So, yeah. So the only thing you have to get here on your vehicles is an emissions test, and that's free. The emissions test is free, but you have to pay for this sticker for your vehicle once it's past that. And if it doesn't pass, then you have to go get repairs and then come back and get another test, and no problem. You just you go from there. Yeah, so it's interesting. So I tell people here, yeah, okay, emissions test is part of our MOT over back in the UK. As you know, that then I tell them there's a much more array of different categories. They're looking for rust, looking for safety stuff, check the seatbelts and everything else. And they kind of think that's, a lot of people, I explain that to US people born here. They're like, oh, wow, yeah, that seems like a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, we're just used to it over in the UK, I suppose. But yeah, there's just them interesting things. Just differences between the two. Me personally, it really intrigues me. There is more, and if you guys are interested, I could go into more detail on another video. But yeah, I just thought that would be a little bit different for now, just to let people know who haven't been here or never visited here, or yeah. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Like I say, something different this time, something a little bit diverse. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.